What's going on, guys? Love Smash back with an all new video for you guys today, and I do not think I'm alone here of saying how epic Thursday was. On top of the amount of trailers we got, reveals, potential reveals, and just all the information we got for MK11 was just downright insane. Now with that, the game is only 3 short months away. Now we have a lot to break down here. Now in the trailers you'll notice a lot of things. We've seen not only during the gameplay of what characters are officially confirmed, we see a ton of characters that are unofficially confirmed. We do not know for a fact 100% if they will be playable. Now of course the fan community is probably already saying if they show these characters in the trailers, they must be playable. Why would they not be? Now with this whole time-bending aspect of the story, we've seen a lot of characters, you know, they're younger versions, they're non-revenant versions, whatever the case may be. So I wanted to do this video, kind of break down everything we saw, go through characters that, you know, were either teased or leaked or potentially playable, all that good stuff. Now first up, starting with the 7 characters, and also Shao Kahn, who we know is going to be a pre-order bonus, but the 7 characters we've seen on stage and gameplay of. Of course, we knew Scorpion and Raiden were going to be in this game. They're in every game, well, almost every game, but they're staples to the series. Sub-Zero, of course, we knew Sub-Zero was going to be in the game as well. A surprising return with Scarlet. Was not expecting Scarlet's return, but definitely she looks awesome. Her moves and her fatalities just look crazy, and a really welcomed addition in my opinion. Did not expect her, but really cool. The only thing I'm wondering is the whole thing with the MKX comic where we seen her get her legs cut off and she was knocked unconscious. My guess is it's either going to have something to do with her blood magic powers, or it's going to have something to do with the Red Dragon, where at the end of the MKX comic, Goro brought Kenshi's body to Dagon as tribute to learn the secrets how to regrow limbs, because the Red Dragon worshiped the Dragon King and Scarlet allies herself with the Red Dragon. So I hope they kind of explain that in the game story, but really cool to see Scarlet back. I love that scythe move she has. And then another returning character who actually died in MKX was Baraka, but with the whole time bending aspect, they can bring back these dead fighters, and Baraka just looks downright sick and awesome. So really cool to see him return as well. And of course, Sonya is back and being voiced by none other than Ronda Rousey. Those leaks were true. Ronda Rousey is voicing Sonya, and she is back as well. And last but not least, our first newcomer confirmed playable with Geras, who is this time manipulative sand wielding, I guess you could say, newcomer. He's this god type character who allies himself with Kronika, who is our final boss character, or the big boss, who I'll talk about in a little bit. But he looks pretty cool, actually. I love this whole look. He has this blue blood, and he just looks really downright powerful. He has like this giant fist you can customize. So along with Shao Kahn, 8 characters officially confirmed for the game. But now I want to talk about the characters we do not know are 100% confirmed as playable just yet. These characters were shown off, but we do not know if they are 100% playable. Now, we did see, of course, Kronika shown off. She is the new boss fighter, that bald woman from the reveal trailer, and basically you see the prologue to the game's story where Raiden is essentially torturing Shinnok. You see him decapitate him. As we saw in the end of MKX, he throws the head to Liu Kang and Kitana, who are the new Emperor and Empress of the Netherrealm, and right before he does that, Raiden vanishes and Shinnok's head is laying on the table. Kronika comes in and saying Raiden has once again messed with time when he wasn't supposed to. This wasn't supposed to take place, and she's here to kind of combat this and change the events of how time was supposed to play out, at least in her perspective. So it's going to be really interesting how the story plays out and all this good stuff. Now, we do not know if she's 100% going to be playable. I would imagine she would be. My guess is she's going to be like Shinnok and MKX, where you have to beat the whole story mode to unlock her, but I guess we'll see. Next up, my favorite newcomer from MKX with Cassie Cage. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, is this really Cassie? I mean, it doesn't really look like her. Now, it has to be Cassie for the off chance that she is wearing the dog tags that say Cage. I can't imagine that being anyone else. But it's very odd because she looks so different. She looks much older. Now, I could chalk this up to a number of things, and the main point being that with NetherRealm games, we've seen it in MKX, we've seen it in Injustice 2, they really take a lot of time to polish the faces, especially on female characters. They take a lot of time, and they look completely different from when they're first announced, as opposed to when the game actually hits shelves. So that was the same way with Cassie and MKX. She looked much different and a lot uglier, but when they polished it up, she looked a lot better. So I think this is what's happening here. The big question here, though, is we didn't see Jackie, we didn't see Takeda, we didn't see Kung Jin, any of the Kombat kids who were this new generation of fighters who were supposed to like kind of take the mantle away from the older characters and have the light shined on them. However, Cassie's the only one we've seen, and with this new time-bending aspect, are they just kind of going to retcon everything that took place in MKX? That's going to be the question here. Now, I'm hoping Cassie will be playable, as she was the main, the main hero of the MKX story and a personal favorite of mine, as you know, all MK characters go in my top 3. So I'm hoping to see her playable, but yet again, another one we don't have 100% confirmed. As our next 2 characters with Liu Kang and Kung Lao, staples to the series and immensely popular. It'd be hard to believe these characters were not playable, but just like Cassie, we only seen them in clips in the story mode. We did not see actual gameplay footage, but I'm kind of feeling all these characters will end up being playable at some point, but they're not officially announcing this yet. But if that is the case, that's taking up a lot of roster spots. As we saw with the character select screen, there were only 25 spots, but with NetherRealm games, they can always expand the roster. We've seen it with MKX, we've seen it with Injustice. They can always add more character slots. There's DLC coming, so don't lose all hope just yet. But Liu Kang, Kung Lao on there. Then you go to the next character with Kitana. Kitana was not only mentioned in Cassie's one line in that behind-the-scenes look when she said, Princess Kitana, the Empress of the Netherrealm. She said something along those lines. And you also see Kitana in one of the loading screens, and being an extremely popular character and playing that role with Liu Kang as the Emperor and Empress of the Netherrealm. I can't imagine Kitana wouldn't be in this game as a playable fighter, but she's definitely in the game in some capacity, much like our next character with Johnny Cage. Now, I'm already seeing a lot of people say Johnny Cage appears in the background of stage. That means he's deconfirmed. But we've seen with many fighting games, Smash Bros. With Toon Link and Alfonso, Street Fighter 4 with Bison, Balrog, and Vega, Street Fighter 5 with Alex, Martian Manhunter, I think Injustice as well. Just because a character appears in the background of stage does not necessarily deconfirm them as playable. So on the left you see Johnny Cage in the background of the stage, and on the right here what fans are saying, this is either a clip from the story of him walking with Sub-Zero or possibly performing a fatal blow or fatality on him. It's really hard to make out. That was kind of the best quality shot I could find, and that was in the behind the scenes trailer. But nevertheless, Johnny's immensely popular, an iconic fighter and an OG to the series, so it'd be kind of shocking to see Sonya playable and not him. Much like our next fighter, who's not really crazy popular, but he's definitely an OG with Kano. Now, in these last 3 photos, you can kind of make out Kano there, and he's just chilling on the couch in the new Black Dragon Hangout stage, which is really, really cool. Maybe we could see other Black Dragon members be playable. And I was trying to make out, obviously, Kano's bionic eye, and that does look like his cybernetic heart, sort of, but I couldn't make out his dragon tattoos, which is another defining feature of Kano's look, at least from MK9 and MKX. So I wasn't 100% certain if that was him or another member of the Black Dragon, but that kind of does look like him. And you also see Kano on the local matches portion on the menu, but that doesn't necessarily confirm a character being playable. And this is where it gets a little funny, because there's a lot of characters that appear on, you know, certain sections of the menu, just like the next character with Noob, who's immensely popular, highly requested to be in MK11, and you see him as part of the Towers of Time. You can clearly see Noob right there. So does this mean these characters, they're kind of like hinting at them being playable by showing them off? Is that what NetherRealm's plan is here? Or they're just using certain characters to promote for, you know, the certain menu items? Who really knows? But there's another photo here with a gray ninja. Many fans are thinking this is Smoke. I kind of just feel this is just a generic ninja to showcase for characters. And then you see souls flying around in the next one, which are leading many people to believe that could be a hint towards either Ermac or potentially even Shang Tsung's return. But these are kind of interesting little tidbits. Yet again, it's not necessarily confirming a character or deconfirming them, but it's just like little things NetherRealm's including. But here's a character who was actually teased during the community event and is supposedly going to be revealed during the Kombat cast taking place on the 30th, and that is Kabal. I actually had to go back and watch this a couple times because if you blinked, you would have missed it. Now, I did see an article that was actually saying that Kabal was going to be DLC, but I think it's way too early to start talking about DLC. The game was just announced. Even though it's only 3 months away, it seems like a little too early to be, you know, showcasing the DLC fighters. So I do in fact believe Kabal is most likely on the main roster, and on the Kombat cast, I feel like that's when they're going to actually showcase him. And lastly, a character who may have been leaked by NetherRealm director of art Steve Barron, who actually came out stating that in the Towers of Time, there's certain things like you can activate Reptile's acid ball. It's very nostalgic. Use these helpers, if you will. It's a blast, and we're really happy about it. So one, I really don't see them, you know, leaking information like that, and him just coming out and saying Reptile, you know, is going to be in the game. I feel like they got to keep their lips really tight on that. It could just be an assist where, you know, Reptile's acid ball just comes out of nowhere and it hits the opponent similar to how like they had the towers in MKX and Injustice 2. But I could be wrong, but Reptile's immensely popular, and I know a lot of fans would be very upset if he wasn't included. So Reptile could be possibly leaked as well here. And finally, two characters that may be included, but I can't imagine NetherRealm really allowing this to get out here, but during the community event when they had the matches, both Tweety and Sonic Fox, who are, you know, really like big time players, they put their favorite character to use in an MK11, and one was Jade for Tweety and Rain was for Sonic Fox. And I find it a little weird that NetherRealm would let something like that out, and the fact that these guys, even though they're professional players, that they would have that kind of information. But regardless of all that, Jade and Rain are very popular, very highly requested, and would make great additions to the roster. And with all that being said, I wanted to share an interview that Ed Boon did talking about fan service, stating that a big character would be returning that they haven't revealed yet.
Yeah. Is there going to be any other fan service type character that might surprise people in this year?
In this game?
Yeah.
Fan service character, other than just a big character returning, that will absolutely happen.
That you haven't shown off yet, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to get something like, you know, everybody's talking about animalities. Let's put animalities.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Chrome. Chrome is not in the game.
All very interesting stuff. Could be hinting at Jade or Rain or Fujin or, you know, Noob, whoever, but it's going to be interesting to see how this roster ends up stacking out. But those are all the characters we've either seen teased or hinted or shown off or officially confirmed. Now with that, I wanted to talk about a leak that popped up, and this supposedly came from a tester at NetherRealm Studios. Now of course, you know, when it comes to leaking rumors, there are a dime a dozen. There's many few that actually turn out to be legitimate, and there's an ocean of them that are just complete bullcrap. And it went on to say Shang Tsung, Cabal, Noob Saibot, Jax, and Liu Kang may have been confirmed by a tester. A known top tournament player named Daddy Dab was on his stream talking about MK11 details and certain characters that his trustworthy insider source confirmed to him. Turns out that insider source was him. Supposedly he was a tester under NDA. I guess he assumed that if he didn't directly name himself of the source, he would be okay. NetherRealm responded by rejecting his invitation to MK Community Day. So it's kind of interesting, but yet again, it's one of those leaks and rumors we don't know is true until we see some more detail, and that was courtesy of testermite.com. And I actually went back and watched that Twitch stream, and he did mention Jax, Noob, and Cabal as his favorites that he wanted to see, and per his sources, they'd be included. He also mentioned Rain and Smoke would not be included, as they were not on the list of names he heard from his sources, but yet again, I don't know who this guy is. Take every leak and rumor you hear with a grain of salt. I just thought it was something interesting worth mentioning that Testermite posted. They've been, you know, a big news source for MK for so many years now. So if you factor in those characters, this roster may be shaping up and we may know every character who's going to be included, but we do not know that just yet. We only know that 8 characters are officially confirmed to be playable, but we haven't seen any other newcomers to the series. We have not seen any characters besides Cassie who are newcomers in MKX, so it leaves a lot to be desired for this roster. And the last thing I wanted to mention, in that same interview I showed you guys earlier, Ed Boon also talked about a very big surprise when talking about tech, how they actually use actors as the basis for the animations and the facials features of the characters and their expressions. And he said there's going to be a big surprise which could potentially be based off like a real life person. Now we saw something similar to this with Carl Weathers' Jack's skin from Predator in MKX. Now could Ed Boon be hinting, I've seen a lot of people already speculate this could mean Arnold Schwarzenegger could be based off for Terminator being a guest character, or they could go with something, you know, if they add a guest fighter, something that coincides with that from a real life person. There's like Ash from Evil Dead. I know a lot of people want to see if they use that actual actor for the basis for that character in the game. Maybe we could see something related to that, or something related to a guest fighter with a real life person. Or, you know, Ronda Rousey, they could have like, you know, an exact replica of Ronda Rousey, Sonya. I don't know, but here's the clip right here. Let me know what you guys think.
We're grabbing real, our faces, our actors. We find, you know, real people and scan their whole face. It's not a 3D modeler, you know, sculpting a nose or sculpting face and stuff like that. It's actually real people. And we have, I'll tell you this, we have a huge surprise coming up for a face that you're going to see in Mortal Kombat. That's all I'm going to say.
So it will be a character that is a recognizable face that you will eventually announce?
I'm not going to answer that question.
So I guess only time will tell in the next 3 months. A lot of leaks are going to pop up and a lot of information is going to pop up over the next few months. So be on the lookout for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you in fact think these characters will be playable? Talking about the unconfirmed ones. Do you think this leak is legit? What characters would you like to see? What characters don't you want to see? Anything you want to mention, please feel free. But I wanted to break this down, go over the characters that have been mentioned at least, and get some feedback and see how this roster can potentially shape out. If you guys want to see the video I did for my full roster predictions, that's in the comments below, along with my top 4 guest character predictions, because I do in fact think there will be guest characters at some point. But anyway, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, for all the latest fighting game news and speculation, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys, like always, so much for watching, and I will see you soon with a brand new video.